What's it like playing someone who's just so unapologetically mean?
Oh, it's fantastic. Villains always get to have all the fun. We get some of the best quips and some of the most sinister, dark, terrible things to say, which is just, working on set is one of the most fun things. Is getting to play a scene where you're just tormenting someone, twisting the knife, holding all the power and not revealing it. It's great.
We were saying that even though he is so twisted in the head and whatever, there's something weirdly likable about Kai.
Yeah.
Is there sort of more that we're going to learn about him that maybe will endear those people who aren't on his side right now?
I mean, for me at least, the main draw when I first saw the breakdown for the character and read about what they wanted to do is he's charming even though he's completely gone. I mean, he's completely psychopathic, sociopathic, and just sort of checked out from reality. But the way that he responds to things is so entertaining because he's so unlike the rest of us, or hopefully all of us. But I think as the season goes on, as we learn more about where he came from, how he came to exactly, I mean, we know why he's in 1994, but in 608 actually, in the next episode, we see a little bit more of his violent past and exactly what it was that brought him to be locked there. His attempts to take over the company and what went wrong.
And his love of spleens.
And his love of spleens, yes. And removing them. But yeah, I think, and further on in the season, I think we'll find that part. I mean, some people will probably start to understand him a bit more, but there's still, I mean, he is a sociopath. There's no way around it. Yeah. I mean, to be capable of the things that he does, he ticks everything. So there's always going to be an element of that, no matter how much they try to humanize it. So hopefully you'll still like it.
Bonnie just pulled a little switcheroo on him in the last episode.
She sure did.
How mad is he going to be? I mean, the bear has her magic in it, I think, and now it's in Mystic Falls.
It seems that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I like that episode because I think that's the first moment, I believe, you might know better than me, I think that's the first moment we see Kai snap, where we see this rage behind him because he's always very kind of cool and keeps things in a light place. And that's a moment when she sends that magic away and he feels like, oh my God, my only ticket out of here has just been taken from me. And he really just loses it for a second. And I think that it's going to be, it's interesting how it'll play out. I mean, Kai always likes to be in control and be ahead of the game, and in that moment, Bonnie takes the power away from him, quite literally, and sends it back to present day, and he will not respond well to that, I don't think.
Can you hint at?
Can I hint at
how this response is going to be?
Well, I think before when Damon was there too, he was always sort of. I mean, once we found out that he couldn't do the spell himself, that he needed a Gemini witch. I mean, a Bennett witch to help. He was sort of saying, I can do this by myself or I can do it with you guys. And he's really got no care in the world about whether it's just him that gets out or if she comes with him. And, you cross a guy like that, you might end up being on his wrong side. And I can't say that he's a forgiving character. So we'll see what happens.
Is there anyone that you haven't gotten to work with yet that you would like to work with?
If I tell you who I've worked with, then you might start to piece together.
Even other than 2 people.
I think, in this next episode specifically, we get to see more of, we get to see how Kai is going to digest this new information that he's going to get from Bonnie and figure out some different ways that he could possibly get out of his prison world. And obviously, if he does, that would be very dangerous for everyone else.
What's it been like to be on this set for months now and only have scenes with the same 2 people when everything else is going on around you?
Yeah, it was one of those things, I would obviously be around the cast a lot on set shooting or hanging out on weekends.
Who's that guy?
But it was really, it was really just Kat and Ian and I all day, every day for a bit, it was great. And they're both fantastic to work with, so we had a fun time doing that. But, it's always great to mix it up, new locales, new people.
We know Bonnie is trying to celebrate Christmas. What is his reaction to that, / how much trouble does he cause for her, or misery does he cause for her, especially considering how much he doesn't like her?
Yeah. Well, Kai, Christmas by yourself in a world where your really only goal is to escape from it. I think, especially for a psychopath, probably the holiday loses its charms. So I think he probably stopped celebrating the holiday many years ago. But he's completely unaffected by the things that bring Bonnie joy. And he only really gets joy from sort of perverse, sinister places. He finds himself unable to connect with her on things like Christmas or talking about her friends. He's just like not in the same headspace at all. But it's entertaining to watch how he responds when she gets
So you're saying
excited.
he's either Scrooge or the Grinch?
Yeah, he would be more the Grinch, I think, minus the croon, and perhaps minus the intense rage, because he really just kind of flatlines kind of most of the time. With little peaks.
Without the heart that grows.
Yes, no heart that grows.
No heart that grows through sadness.
If he gets out of the 90s,
Yeah.
what do you think he's going to be most fascinated by of the minutia in life?
Gosh.
I mean,
Yeah, no, I mean, that was one thing that I really looked at was what I had going on in the 90s, and then if I just jumped to today, and all of a sudden we had, our computers in our hands, in connection to the world. And, you sit somewhere you don't know something, you Google it. So we didn't do that in 1994 exactly. So I think the world is going to be very exciting. Technology is very exciting to Kai, I would imagine. And also, fashions. I think it's a kind of thing that he still dresses like Eddie Vedder because that's what he knows and that's what he likes. But if he gets out of the 90s, he would probably be swept away by, all the different sights and sounds.
leather.
Leather. This is mine. No spoilers.
Is Kai redeemable?
Is Kai redeemable? I mean, look, on this show, nobody's ever officially dead. Well, that's not necessarily true. People do die. But, where death is sort of wishy-washy, I think characters being good or bad is also severely flexible and fluctuates, day to day, episode to episode. But Kai has sort of been firmly established as a character who can't cross over to the good side just because he's actually incapable emotionally of going there. But that being said, that there's weirder things that happen on the show than a serial killer turning good, Damon. So I wouldn't be surprised if he came back around, but you never know. Anybody else?
Any other questions, guys?
What do you want to see for him?
What do I wanna see?
In your dream scenario of what happens to Kai throughout the rest of the season.
Well, I'd love for him to get out, obviously, because that's where all the fun is. All the people to kill. I think was that too casual the way I said it? I think I want him to get out, and it'd be awesome if he could get revenge on his coven. In this upcoming week's episode, we get to see exactly how his father and his siblings sort of mess up his attempt to claim leadership of the coven, and that's a really fascinating flashback sequence that we have throughout the episode, which is going to be really fun to watch. And we'll just really pick up a lot of pieces in this next episode of exactly why Kai is the way he is, and I think it sort of projects to me that if he is able to get out of 1994, all that history is just going to give him a very intense purpose in the real world. And I think it's going to involve lots of killing, lots of torture, lots of smiles while all of that is happening. And I think that is a lot of fun to play. So that's what I would like to see.
The little backpack that you had that you were going to bring with you into modern times,
Yeah.
did they put any of like your history in there?
I mean, baseball cards. It was very funny to me that they had the stack of A-Rod rookie cards that Kai had obviously talked to Damon, and he was like, yeah, baseball, blah, blah, blah. Shut up, stop asking me questions. And Kai's like, oh, I can make money. I can sell cards. Zima, I'm gonna bring that. It's hilarious. But no, the props people are so great. And you open that stack of CDs and it's like nostalgic. It smells like the 90s.
Like Teen Spirit.
It smells exactly like Teen Spirit.
Nickelback.
Yeah.
Kai is a character that's so unapologetically ruthless, much similar to Klaus.
Yeah.
How do you feel like the two of them would interact? If they
Oh,
ever
that would be
crossed
fun,
paths?
wouldn't it? And no, on this show currently, one of my goals is I want Kai and Enzo to team up at some point. I think that would be a blast. They're both very verbose characters who would really probably not see eye to eye at all in a lot of capacities, but they might have the same goal, and it would be really interesting to watch that.
Kill people.
Yeah, just go on a rampage, you know.
Find Zuma.
Yeah, find Zuma, sell A-Rod cards. But yeah, I think Klaus, I mean, talk about a crazy killer character. He's fantastic. I feel like their interactions would be really, really special. Because Klaus also they're both very smart. I think Kai's one of the smarter characters on the show, which is partly what makes him so dangerous. But I think Klaus is probably pretty close in intelligence to Kai. So them together might be a bit of outwitting each other constantly in a way that would be really actually a good idea. We should tell Julie.
Crossover.
Crossover.
I don't know if you've heard, but this show is about a lot of romance. There's some coupling going on.
Oh, wow.
Let's say, hypothetical scenario, Kai takes it back to present day, examines the ladies of the show.
Yeah.
Who do you think you would find the most intriguing?
Who do I think Kai would want to date? Is that sort of what you were asking?
What a better phrased question.
You know, I think Kai probably. I mean, Elena obviously she has a track record of being okay with psychopaths, sort of becoming romantic with her. I think so. Her would be an obvious choice, but you know, there is a weird sort of sexual tension between Kai and Bonnie that didn't really get explored too much in the first few episodes, but it sort of was there, and also just having been around no one. And then all of a sudden there's this beautiful girl with him, even if he doesn't care about her at all, he can still appreciate that. So I think somewhere in him he might still sort of fancy her. I don't know.
Like that.
Yeah. I don't think he'd like Caroline. I think he'd want to kill her.
So no Kai
Just,
line.
he wants to talk. He doesn't want someone else to talk. So I think he might just snap her neck and move on.
She would kill you.
Yeah, she'd crush Kai.